Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And for the sake of this video, we're going to be doing a review of the 1999 movie Man in the Moon, starring Jim Carrey. Now, don't get confused over the other review I did, which was The Man in the Moon, which came out in 1991. This is movie came out in 1999, starring Jim Carrey, and it's about the comedian Andy Kaufman, who died back in the early 80s. Allegedly died. I'm going to get into it as the review goes on. Excuse me. Of course, like I said, this movie is about the life and career of Andy Kaufman. And, of course, Andy Kaufman is more famous for being on Taxi and Saturday Night Live and other things. So it goes up, shows how he tried to break into the show business, how he almost immediately got an agent, which ironically was played by Danny DeVito, who his company produced the movie, and sorry the camera movie because I tried to center the camera, and he's trying to somehow almost right away gets hit on Saturday Night Live. And at first, I didn't want him on Saturday Night Live because he pretty much had no act. Really, he wasn't really what you call a stand-up comedian, which stand in front of an audience and constantly told jokes and stuff like that. He had a real completely different type of an act. And he would do like the record for Mighty Mouse and would lip sync to it. He would also play his other character, Tony Serrano, who was like a fat, obnoxious, lounge singer, and he would do all these, crazy antics and crazy bits just to get a reaction. Nothing can last, but to how far can you push an audience for a gut reaction of pure hatred? And that's the type of reaction. People will start talking and will book him. That's what he wanted, and that's what he got. And he got booked on the show Taxi, and of course it was brought up in the film. Naturally, of course, every time there's a biopic of anybody, no matter who it is, the problem is how accurate the film is. That right away, he didn't want to do a sitcom. In the film, he didn't want to do a sitcom. He hated doing that character, playing with a foreign accent, foreign man. It was the actual name of his character, of that particular character, with that voice and the accent. But they gave him the name Laka for the character. And so, of course, when he got booked to do shows, people just wanted to do play Laka, or do the Mighty Mouse bit, and then that's it. There's really only two bits, other than the Tony Chiffon character. There's only really 3 bits or skits that Andy Kaufman was known for. Of course, while all this stuff was going on, and he was trying desperately to get out of Taxi. He was always used to show up late. He would act like a jerk. Of course, they didn't use the word jerk. They used the word asshole. I mean, he was acting like an asshole through the whole thing. And then what he did do was he did get out of the contract for Taxi. And of course, two of the most famous other bits that had nothing to do with Taxi or of his act was he did an episode of a show called Fridays, which that clip is on YouTube, by the way. So you can check that out. Well, Fridays was supposed to be a ripoff of Saturday Night Live. I figured, okay, he said Saturday Night Live was so successful, especially back then. Let's do a show on Friday night, or ABC decided, let's do a show on Friday night, and they had a skit where everybody in this particular skit, including Michael Richards from Seinfeld, he was the only one who was notable in this particular skit. Because Michael Richards was a part of the cast of Fridays, and it was set up ahead of time, but not to the three actors who were in that skit. They didn't know it was a setup, but it was found out that the producers of Fridays, only the producer knew there was going to be a setup where Andy Kaufman was going to go off script. And he was supposed to be a guy who was goes to the bathroom, and you don't actually physically see it in the skit. When it goes to the bathroom, smokes pot, comes out, and goes, and whoa, and X Stone. And of course, Andy Kaufman said, "Look, I don't." In the film, says, "Look, I don't do drug skits. I don't do drug jokes." He said, "Yeah, but it's called acting. You're supposed to act it out." Right, and he didn't give a shit. He didn't want. He just didn't want to do it. So he literally caused a fight on the set of Fries, and they cut to the commercial, and it was like literally the end of the show. And the next week came on with his apology, and people thought was laughing, and the audience for Fridays was like actually laughing at it, because they thought that was as fake as the incident the week before. That was a fake apology. Of course, the other thing that was brought up in the film, and at least the part of the film, not only the Fridays incident, but the other incident that we want to see in this movie was the sequence with Andy Kaufman decided to get into wrestling. Because wrestling was, of course, in the late 70s and in the early 80s, even before then, it was all in territories. And one of the biggest, and of course the WWF was in the extreme early days back then. There was no WrestleMania, there was no real big pay-per-view events yet in this particular time, in the early 80s. So, and I mean, this was before WrestleMania. I mean, they still have events in Madison Square Garden, it was on the MSG network and stuff like that. But in terms of, this was pre-WrestleMania years. And you didn't really have celebrities interacting with wrestlers at all back then. It was like a real huge thing. And so Andy Kaufman decides to go into one of the biggest wrestling territories, which was in Memphis, and wrestle women. It was like, I'm the intergender wrestling champion, because he was beating up women. Even though wrestling, wrestling is always predetermined who wins and who loses matches. I mean, it happens in every wrestling match, in every wrestling card that you could possibly think of. The matches were made up in advance, and who wins, specifically who wins and who loses a match, or who wins what belt, championship, and so on and so forth. So Andy Kaufman was wrestling women, and they set up beforehand that he would get into a bit of rivalry with the Memphis territory champion, which happened to be Jerry the King Lawler, who was, of course, more famous nowadays for being an announcer for the WWF today. It's still called the World Wrestling Federation, so fuck you. People who get offended, they call it the WWF, not the WWE. It's still considered the World Wrestling Federation and not the World Wrestling Entertainment, because I think it's bullshit. Anyway, Jerry Lawler challenged Andy Kaufman to a match. And his agent, once again played by Danny DeVito, was trying to talk him out of it. And he said, "No, I want to do this thing," because he likes the wrestling would be a good build up, and he fought Jerry, and Jerry decided to do the power driver. Which for some reason in this territory it was illegal for somebody to use a power driver, because I think it was too dangerous of a move. You could break somebody's neck. If you don't do it right, you could break somebody's neck. I mean, you can. I mean, accidents do happen in wrestling, and people do get hurt. But, if you do it right, the person won't get hurt. But in this territory, if he pulls a pole driver, which I think was Jerry Lawler's best move, I guess, he'll be disqualified. But Jerry Lawler did it twice on Andy Kaufman, and of course, in 91, they did the famous bit with on the David Letterman show. He was wearing a neck brace, of course, and you can see that clip as well on YouTube, when Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler were on the David Letterman show. And of course, I think now you have the edited version, the one that actually aired on television, where Andy Kaufman was using every 4-letter word in the English language, cursing out Jerry Lawler and everything else, going bleep 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 bleep. And I think once there was the unedited version where the curse words weren't bleeped out. You can see that clip on YouTube as well. I think the one with the bleeps in it, it's on YouTube, definitely. And it is a pretty funny clip when Jerry Lawler says to him, "What kind of man are you?" I mean, it is a pretty funny clip to even watch. of course, there was the only really other thing that Andy Kaufman was known for. Of course, when Andy Kaufman was diagnosed with having cancer, lung cancer, his family, including one of his sisters, believes that was fake. That Andy is faking this. And the parents says, wait a minute, how can you fake cancer? It's as simple. It was trying to get us to be sorry for him and get play on our sympathies, because he knows he's pulled stuff like this when he pretends to be sick and he wasn't, and that type of thing. I think that it's all fake. It's all bullshit, and it's just and the rest of Andy's family says, "Oh come on, he's not pretending this," and of course it turns out that he wasn't faking it. But a lot of people feel that that Andy Kaufman faked his death. They just decided to leave show business and be in seclusion for the rest of his life. Because in the movie, it does happen in the movie where like a year later, Andy Kaufman gets dressed up as the Tony character and perform a nightclub act. About a year after he died, he quote unquote died. They did put it in the movie that people thought they faked his death. I think people even to this day believe that they faked his death. That Andy faked his death. I'm not gonna say one way or the other what I personally believe, but that's the rumors and that's the story. But as the movie, I think it was an okay biopic. It looks like something that maybe Lifetime will put on the air. But I thought that Jim Carrey's performance was the best thing in the movie, because I think Andy Kaufman was Jim Carrey's idol when Jim Carrey was a kid. But I mean, other than Jim Carrey's performance, when Jim Carrey gives good material, sometimes he'll do a great job, like he did in this and in the Truman Show. Those are only two movies that I really liked that Jim Carrey was in. There's those two movies. But in terms of this one, I think it was just the stereotypical biopic, and they rushed through everything, and like I said, other than Jim Carrey's performance, is the only thing I liked about this movie. So that's my review of Man on the Moon. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my videos now on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com. There's also WDY.com. There's a homepage for Rowdy Reviewer, Christine Moore. And you can check out all of his videos on his website as well. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.